love driving above all else? Then join us for a high-octane adventure along our most iconic roads. Drive TV puts Australia's top automotive journalists behind the wheel of the world's most interesting cars and sends them on the scenic route to destinations unknown. From smooth stretches of blacktop in a stylish sedan, snaking dirt tracks in a sports ute, or star-studded SUV adventures, we're on a mission to find you the perfect car for the perfect road trip. And with the way we move changing by the minute, we'll make sure you're plugged into the new world of electric and hybrid vehicles. It promises to be an awe-inspiring journey, with plenty of fun to be had along the way. Take the road less travelled, meet charming characters, and discover breathtaking locations. And let us introduce you to the cars, all while celebrating what's so special about the great Australian road trip. So, jump in and buckle up. It's time for a drive.
Absolutely one of the fastest cars I've driven around here.
And we've been on this road for about 30 minutes now. Golly gee, everybody, look at that.
This week on Drive, James experiences some rich Italian history in Victoria's Grand Ridge region, piloting none other than an Italian hand-built super sports car, the all-new Maserati MC20.
A slice of Italy just out of Melbourne? Sounds almost too good to be true. Welcome to the Grand Ridge region of Victoria, home of stunning vistas and brilliant roads, and an area that is as rich in fertile soil as it is in Italian history.
Now that's good coffee. We've just stopped here in the town of Merboon North, which is about 90 minutes from Melbourne, to plan our route through the Grand Ridge region. Now this is an area that is a rich farming and pastoral community that has a lot of ties back to the Italian community. So to enjoy the spiderweb network of roads, we're in nothing less than a hand-built Italian super sports car.
The all-new Maserati MC20 signifies a new era for the storied Italian brand. It's a car which represents Maserati's history and provenance, but very clearly looks toward the future. Case in point, when Maserati were developing the MC20, they planned ahead so that the carbon fibre chassis would work for the traditional coupe, an open-air convertible, and even an all-wheel drive, all-electric variant. Our car, however, features a brand new twin-turbo V6, which uses Formula One technology to bolster performance and maintain efficiency. Bottom line, it's fast, it's light, and it's very clever. The mid-mounted 3-litre twin-turbo V6 produces 463 kilowatts and 730 newton metres, and the car is capable of a 0 to 100 km/h sprint in just 2.9 seconds. Inside is an array of soft leather, carbon fibre and Alcantara, as well as a pair of 10-inch LCD displays. Plus, look at it, it's stunning. You'll note there are no fussy wings or clumsy adornments on the outside. A Maserati must be beautiful, which we all agree it is, but it also needs to be capable. To that end, the MC20's development included thousands of hours of aerodynamic refinements to allow the top half to look amazing and the bottom half to do all the work.
Ooh, listen to that. Well, as they say in Italy, andiamo. Let's go.
After the break, we discover Victoria's Grand Ridge in Italy's ultimate Grand Tourer.
Worth noting, if you're in a really, really low car that isn't yours and is really expensive, you probably want to look out for divots in the asphalt here, because this car will, well, it'll tend to bottom out a little bit.
Charged with coffee and armed with a bright yellow Maserati super sports car, James has found a little chunk of Italy just outside Melbourne.
It's pretty spectacular. We're running along one portion of a network called the Grand Ridge Road. And despite some patchy surfaces in the tarmac here and there, the MC20 is taking it all in its stride.
Nestled among the Strzelecki Ranges and centred around the picturesque town of Merbau North, Grand Ridge is about 90 minutes southeast of Melbourne. During Australia's immigration boom following the Second World War, the region became home to many Italian families who began working the fruitful land. Their crop of choice, potatoes. The Italian connection continues today, with many second and third generation families still operating thriving agriculture businesses. There's even an annual potato festival in nearby Thorpedale. Connecting Merbau North with surrounding towns is a spiderweb of twisting sea roads. They wind along ridges, descend into valleys, and offer a veritable playground of Italianate landscapes with little traffic and postcard-worthy views.
We've mapped out a loop that takes in some of the best stretches, but if you've got a car that can take in the occasional venture off the tarmac and onto a gravel road, you can traverse the ridge almost all the way down to Foster on the coast. And I can assure you, from what we've seen today, we will come back again for that.
So, great history, world-class potatoes, and a driver's dream. So why haven't you heard about it before?
Quite simply, it's all too easy just to drive past.
Down cross town, living like a rock star. Spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar. Baby's got a habit, diamond rings and Fendi sports bras. Riding down Rodeo in my Maserati sports car. Got no stress, I've been through.
Well, Grand Ridge sits between the two major road routes in the West Gippsland region. Head north and you'll find the Princess Highway, which takes most of the traffic through bigger cities like Traralgon and Sale onto Lakes Entrance and beyond. Where below us is the South Gippsland Highway and the route to coastal locations like Wilson's Promontory. Which really means, unless you come here, you'll probably never come here.
And I tell you what, it is worth the diversion, because this road is sensational and the performance of this car is just astounding.
Hey, I heard you were a wild one. Ooh, if I took you home and be a woman, show me how you do. I wanna shut down the club with you. Hey, I heard you like the wild ones, wild ones, wild ones.
Now onto our car. The transmission is an 8-speed dual clutch that offers brilliantly fast and accurate changes thanks to these alloy paddles here on the wheel. And unlike many cars, they don't move when you turn. That said, if you are in traffic still sipping your espresso, there is an automatic mode. After all, this is a very civilised car for civilised people.
With 463 kilowatts or 630 horsepower sitting right behind me and a total weight, without me of course, of less than 1,500 kilograms, the MC20 has the best power to weight ratio in its class.
And in case you're counting, the top speed of the MC20 is 325 kilometres an hour, or a smidge over 200 miles an hour. Not that we'll see that here today, of course. In fact, it's actually a bit nicer to dial things back and take in the amazing views.
I am the one, break me, saddle me up and let's begin. I am a wild one, taming now, running with wolves and I'm on the prowl.
Now the big carbon ceramic brakes on this thing, oh, they can pull you up really nicely. But a word to the wise, they're very expensive brakes to have on your car, but you do need to build some heat into them to actually get that stopping performance. So it's not something to go out and do first thing in the morning, is push your Maserati at high speed and then need to throw out the anchors, because it probably won't work as well as you need to. Once you have heat in them though, you'll stop for days. So one thing that is quite curious about the MC20 is our rear view mirror, because obviously the engine is behind us and it has that cool Lexan cover over the engine bay. Our rear view mirror is next to useless. So the car actually has a projected video image here in the screen, and you can adjust the brightness so you can really adapt for the driving conditions. We haven't actually done this on this trip, and it's almost too bright. So I know that I've got a clear vision back there, but I can't actually see what it is, and it's a little bit glary and perhaps too crisp. And it's not something that I'm very used to, certainly not yet. But I tell you what, between you and me, I'm prepared to spend enough time in this car so that I, for you, can get used to that image. It's my pleasure. This drive mode switch can alter our performance by adjusting engine power, exhaust flow, shift timing and suspension feel. Just listen to the difference between GT mode and Corsa. Wow! You can really feel those shifts, like it comes on, and it's so brutal, those changes. Like it really does just shift well, and it pulls around on the road. You can feel these tyres moving. It is, okay, it might be a Grand Tourer, but it is a proper sports car.
After the break, we'll learn why this area felt so much like home to the Italian communities.
It really is a very Italianate landscape, and it's easy to see why those pioneer migrants found this as their new home, as a real slice of Italy.
Just outside of Melbourne is a little-known slice of Italy. Stunning views and brilliant roads make this a great place to venture in your Maserati super sports car.
One thing you never get sick of coming through here is more of these windy roads, next 3 kilometres, next 4 kilometres. It just keeps going through here, snaking beautifully up and down. What fun. Even coming through here, we can see the potato crops, we can see other agriculture, but more important, we can see these rolling hills that seem to go on for miles and miles. It is spectacular.
What a night for a dance, you know I'm a dancing machine. With the fire in my bones and the sweet taste of kerosene, I get lost in the light so high, I don't wanna come down to face the loss of the good thing that I found.
What's great about this road too is that you have excellent visibility through some of the winding stretches. It's not just shadowed by trees. It opens up, you can see these amazing views out to the side of the car, but more importantly, you get a great idea of what the road ahead is like that allows you to kind of, well, take your Maserati for a bit of a drive.
I didn't ask for a free ride. I only asked you to show me a real good time. I never asked for the rainfall. At least I showed up, you showed me nothing at all. It's coming down on me, harder like misery. It's coming down on me.
Tell you what, this could almost be Italy.
those rolling hills, the working farms, even that line of trees up there on the ridge. And in terms of why this region feels so familiar to the Italian migrants, well, there's a bit of science behind it, because in terms of climate and countryside, we're both basically the same distance away from the equator.
You see, we're here at 38 degrees south, where 38 degrees north plops us right into the potato-friendly region of southern Italy. Want more proof? Well, come with me into town. Every year, the region runs an Italian festival where the statue of St. Paul is carried through the town of Merbu North. As St. Paul is the patron saint of Solarino, a town on the Italian island of Sicily, where many of the migrant families came from.
What's more, Sicily is where Alfieri Maserati put one of his very first race cars to the test in the 1926 Mille Miglia race. And perhaps for one final and very important link, Solarino has a sister city. Where? Brunswick. And I think we might head there next. After all this Italianness, I can use another coffee.
Yes, the historical side note makes our Italian story more interesting, but it shouldn't take anything away from the real majesty of this area. It really is stunning. And the Maserati MC20, well, it is as at home out here as it would be anywhere in Italy. And it shows that with renewed vigour and a look to the future, the Trident badge is only going from strength to strength.
After the break, we'll show you how to discover the Grand Ridge for yourself. James has travelled all the way to Italy without using a passport. Green hills, farming communities and a Maserati MC20. What more could you ask for?
The right tyres are a huge part of any performance car. And sometimes the right tyres are the ones that have been designed specifically for that car.
The Bridgestone Potenza Sport rubber on the MC20 was developed for this car in a partnership between Maserati and Bridgestone. It's the same for many brands, so to ensure you always choose the right tyres that may have even been developed with your car in mind, speak to the team at Bob Jane T-Mart to get all the right advice.
But while everything about the stunning Maserati MC20 bleeds green, white and red tricolour, this coffee is from Brunswick, and these hills are pure Gippsland.
A Maserati isn't just about outright performance. It needs to cosset and reward. It needs to be able to take you on a journey, however far that may be, and allow you to arrive swiftly, but still feeling special and refreshed. A true Grand Tourer for the Grand Ridge. Our journey starts about 150 kilometres southeast of downtown Melbourne in the regional town of Merbu North. From here, we head south on the Grand Ridge Road until we meet the junction of Farmers Road. Turning left, we wind east along the ridge, past the stunning rolling hills, where the road passes through several small townships on the way towards Bullara. There are a couple of intersections here that direct us back to the C458, which has us heading back through a tight and technical section to our starting point of Merbu North. All up, this scenic drive is a 60-kilometre loop, but with the many beautiful stopping points and options for detours, give yourself half a day to draw your own map and fully enjoy this little piece of Italy in Victoria. If you are wanting the famed Trident badge on the grille of your next car and feel that perhaps the MC20 isn't a real-world practical option for your day-to-day driving, then maybe the Maserati Levante SUV is a somewhat smarter choice. Available with a typical range of personalisation choices, you can create your own special Levante.
Power choices come from either a 3-litre twin-turbo V6, a Ferrari-sourced 3.8-litre twin-turbo V8, or now for 2022, there's even a 48-volt mild hybrid option.
You can read all about the Maserati MC20 and the Maserati range at drive.com.au. Plus, get all the details for this drive through Victoria's Grand Ridge region by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting us online. Got any ideas on a great drive or special road that needs to be discovered? Let us know. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube to stay up to date and get some exclusive behind the scenes details and extras. And we'll see you next time for a drive. Next week on the show, I journey through the snowy mountains to conquer the highest paved road in Australia. And my companion, the all-new Kia Sportage. Join me next week for a drive.